Thank you again, everyone, for your attention and your time. This is Susu, Senior Project Consultant, Bonus China Office Represent. My team and I have been researching the Chinese study abroad market with the goal of providing first-handed insights and sentiment to international educators. And I would love to introduce a little bit about our team. Bonat actually established its China office 10 years ago, beginning to build a network of relationships across the country. And around 6 years ago, I led the team in creating Bonat's initial agency database model, which we have continuously updated. And through this process, our team has the opportunity to develop strong connections with over 1,000 agencies across more than 100 cities in China. And beyond that, our network also includes international high schools, international programs, and university international offices in over 10 cities nationwide. And thanks to those industrial partners, or let's call them industrial friends, who regularly share insights with us, Bonat China team can stay always updated on trends across the different region and also know about student demographics. And this helps us to understand the market overall direction. And much of what I'm gonna share today, beside the public available data and our in-house data, is more based on the insights from these industry friends, including the counselors, the teachers, the agents who interact daily with students and their families. And speaking of which, I would like already bring up our first poll question, Teresa, if you would, because I would like to know, what about you? Like, which channel our audience today usually use to source your insights for recruiting Chinese students? Feel free to choose the option that suits you. And at the meantime, I would like to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. We all know that China has always been a significant market, and in recent years, we have seen a lot of changes in a lot of areas. For example, the economy, the consumer behavior, and also the information channels. And these shifts impact a lot of industry, including study abroad market, in a lot of ways. And this webinar will just provide you a brief overview of the Chinese source market. The first part, the market trend section, we will just look at the recovery of student number and the prospection of different destinations. And in the second part, the student choices, we will discuss the factors and features that students prioritize when choosing higher education institutions, and as well as what parents consider when selecting programs for younger students. Finally, we will also share insights on effective promotion and recruitment channels and how to strategically design them. Right. As usual, we will start by giving a quick overview of the current state of China's study abroad markets. We actually been emphasizing the need for educators to pay attention to different source markets, as different markets have been increasingly diverse in recent years. And it's very encouraging to see many of you has been exploring markets beyond China, such as Vietnam and India. And this shift is also part of the reason why we're launching this series of source market data sharing. So today's China source market data sharing is just a beginning. We plan to do for other source market too. So let's have a look at the data. According to the UNESCO data, China was, at least in 2022, the world's largest study abroad source country, no surprise, with its outbound student numbers surpassing those of all of Europe. I'm taking Europe as a comparison because unlike Europe, China is unified as a single language and culture with nationwide trends that are relatively independent from other countries. So for educators, this offers a unique advantage in building brand awareness. And also requiring tailored marketing strategy. And the overall number of outbound students in higher education is still recovering, influenced by several factors such as economic recovery. While the pandemic put many students' study abroad plan on hold and led to economic challenges. So the post-pandemic surge that many have been talking about didn't really come true. Instead, some of students have canceled or paused their plans, or they simply shifted from destination like the US or UK to more, let's say, cost-effective options. And the feedback that we receive from agencies also shows that students are now more focused on the return on investment and more cautious with spending, like everyone. However, given the current employment landscape, the returnees still hold advantages in employment and other aspects in China too. For example, marriage market, they still have advantage. So since the demand for study abroad will continue to grow steadily for international educator, for now, patience is the key. Stay attentive to the market and adjust strategy as needed under this special circumstance. And then here, I would like to share that Bonad has built a platform. We call it Bonad International Education Platform. And it's a platform where we share key data and collected from various official sources. And the data on this page you're looking at right now, it's a selection from the platform. It's demonstrating the outbound number for Chinese students in higher education. And we can see the US has seen a significant decline in enrollment, but it remains the top destination because the US is the US. It always has a position or a certain position in students' heart. In the UK, it has been growing, especially for shorter intensive program based on what agencies told us. In Canada's, if we look at Canada's line, Chinese student number has slightly decreased. That might be multiple cost. For example, recent policies, and we all know that there are more coming up. So I guess we will just have to see how the market react, and then we might talk about that in a couple of months. And we can have a look at Australia. Australia bounced back after a decline. This has a lot of, because Australia has a lot of advantages. For example, the biggest one, lower cost and offering also competitive ranking education resource. We're mentioning ranking already. We're going to talk about that later. And then speaking of lower cost, I would like to mention destinations like Japan, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. They are becoming increasingly competitive due to their affordability at the first place and proximity and cultural similarity with China, and also a minimum time zone difference. And there are also some programs, I don't know if some of you heard of it. It's like a transfer option to UK degree, but you just spend your time in an Asia country. So technically you traveled abroad, but you're not going to a very expensive country. You stay in Malaysia or Singapore, something like that. But at the end, you get a UK degree. There are some programs like this, and these are also impacting the, let's say, traditional study abroad markets because people are more cautious about spending money, so they are more likely to be attracted by this type of program too. And there's another change I want to mention is that students' choices for study destination are diversifying definitely this year because more information are becoming accessible. And this lead to less reliance on agencies or counselors, but only in a certain extent. It's still in the process. Because students starting, we can feel that students starting to develop their own individual preference, not only listening to agencies. So what does this mean? Meaning that for educator, this presents both a challenge and an opportunity, of course. The question now is not only how to help agencies partner to promote the brand, but also how to enhance your market presence, because the students starting to research and interact with certain institutions, schools, or universities. Let's move on. Before we move to the next page, maybe we can take a look at the poll results. If Teresa, if you'd like to bring it up. I see. Most of you are getting information from local agencies and partners just like us, and from international education affair too. And I see that some of you are choosing the last option, and this is very good. And this is aligned with our focus on visa grant numbers, as because the visa grant number actually provide a direct measure of student interest to each country, right? So that's why I capture a few relevant data points from the Bona International Education Platform to share with you here, which is on the next page. Here, yes, please be noted that this overview covers all study level, not only higher education this time. In general, the visa approval rate is very ideal. If you look at other source market, China source market is very ideal for that. We can see Australia visa approval rate remain constantly stable, just like New Zealand, high visa approval rate, even if a little bit fluctuation. For Canada, even if it seems less constant and somewhat lower than other destinations, but still, if you look at the minimum of it is 71%. That's not bad. And I know that there are agencies talking about recent coming up policy changes, like the 10% reduction in study permit for 2025. This could, of course, impact the Canadian study market, but still, we're gonna wait how market react to it, and we can talk about that perhaps in our next webinar. And if we look at UK, it's also very stable, despite there are also policies posting, let's say, restrictions. And then for the next page, I want to show you the specific number of visa approvals for this destination. Again, New Zealand, Australia, high approval rate, and the grants number is very stable too over the years. In Canada, approval number is nearly the same level with Australia, if you can notice. If you remember in previous slide, we were talking about the student in higher education sector. Australia number is higher than Canada. So this suggests that a significant portion of Canada's student visa may be granted to younger students. And then if we look at the UK and the US, we can see that between 2019 and 2020, more students choose the UK over the US, and this trend has somewhat continued. The US experienced a sharp decline in visa approval in 2020 for you know what reason, but by 2021, the number nearly rebounded to 2019 level. That's what I'm saying. The US is the US. It always have the place in students' heart. And then the UK have most of its intake in Q3. Well, if you look at the US, it's the Q2 and Q3. I'm mentioning this, just saying that this is related to respective intake season in those two countries. And this also suggests that institutions to tailor their recruitment plans accordingly. And then before we move on to the next session, and also before I forget, let's introduce the second poll question here we prepared for today. It's more about the type of students or the study level that you're prioritizing your recruitment, like what type of student you are trying to recruit the most. Okay, I leave you some time to click. Here, we are moving on to the next session. Yes, for this part, we will briefly introduce the key factor that overseas students or students seeking for overseas education prioritize when choosing their study destinations, institutions, and program type. This information will help to shape your promotional strategy based on the strength of your institution. Why is that? Let's have a look. Here, what do Chinese students value the most when it comes to higher education? I think everybody know the answer is ranking. Yes. And I'm still showing the data here. A research for QS ranking using like the keyword QS ranking using the Baidu search engine, which is the most popular search engine in China, has shown a noticeable increase in result over the past 10 years, particularly from June to September, if you can see those little peaks. And this rise in search result indicates that the discussion around university ranking are becoming even more and more prevalent. And additionally, we did some soft intel research. We conduct a little research on the social media comments, like what do people really think about, what they are talking about when it comes to ranking. There are students saying that if you want to develop your career back home, the QS ranking is really important because companies, especially famous companies, still pay a lot of attention of ranking. And there are also students saying that many students can only get to, like their level can only get to second tier university in China. But if they study abroad, they can get enrolled into a university ranked between 100 and 200. And this, when they come back to China, they will be regarded as a 211 university graduates. And 211 meaning the first tier university in China. And so after knowing this, I think it's natural for such situation to arise because ranking can lead to differences in a lot of aspects in China, like actual difference, like in salary, like for 户口. 户口 means that if you want to stay in a city, you need to apply for the right to reside there, which is linked to your medical care or social well-being benefits, a lot of things like that. And other aspects, other realistic factors. For example, an international student returning to China may receive totally different benefits based on their university ranking. If I remember right, for Shanghai, the city Shanghai, if your university is ranked within 100, you will receive a certain amount of house renting financial aid. And if the ranking is between 100 and 200, another amount. There is even tier for this. So that's why that's the policies and the countries pushing students and parents in pursuing rankings. However, students at various levels, like academic levels, will ultimately find a university that are suitable for them. While university ranking is very important, but not all of the students can be admitted to a top-ranked university. Although if you're working with agency, I know that they prefer to partner with higher ranked institutions, or they are always talking about ranking. But the ranking itself is not the only, or is not at all a competitive edge. Universities that are not highly ranked or have no ranking should not feel the need to compete with top ranked university or higher ranked university, because ranking are just an important feature as they define the academic level of a university's target student population. And this, in return, influence where the university should focus its recruitment effort. I mean that the ranking of the university define what academic level of your target student is, and their academic level define where you can find them or how you can reach them. So if ranking is not a competitive advantage, so what is that? What students are pursuing? Actually, we did a survey about this, 2022. 72% of the students highlighted the importance of institutional reputation when select a university. That's totally different concept. This shows that rankings and reputation are both vital, and reputation can be coveted. For example, if you're working with schools or universities that already hold a certain reputation in China, and alongside utilizing different promotional channels, this can help an institution enhance its reputation among peers of similar rankings or levels, let's say that. And aside from rankings, of course, there are other things that matters. Student also place strong emphasis on ROI, like return of investment and employability, just like we mentioned. In the same survey, 66% of the students identify the employment rate of graduates as a very important factor when selecting a university. In particular, in the current economic climate, and people are sensitive about the salary, the income, the money, and many students are concerned about their job prospects after graduation. So the ongoing pursuit of university ranking or reputation ultimately aims to enhance their competitiveness in the job market. So that might give us some inspiration. And there are more data. According to the data from Chinese Ministry of Education, 84% of international students return to China for employment. So their competitiveness in Chinese job market depends on their academic performance and education background, making this crucial consideration in their university choice. So and also, additionally, the popularity of STEM and business-related program also reflects the sector in China, in Chinese job market, like the most popular job market. And so the program that, in a conclusion, program that offer local internship or opportunity in China, or you can make students feel that they will have a very bright perspective after graduation in China, can be particularly appealing to students. So highlighting successful career path of outstanding previous students can also attract students to your university. And I know I talk a lot about university now. Regarding the short-term program, especially those aimed at young students, parents prioritize safety. Yeah, and many short-term providers in China operate under a white label model. I don't know if our short-term providers know about that. Parents' trust placed in the short-term program is largely based on their confidence in the Chinese agencies that are promoting this program. Therefore, selecting a reputable and suitable partner agency is very crucial for short-term program providers. And we will discuss this further in following section. And then we are coming to the next part. We will talk about the effective promotion channel in China. When we talk about promotion channels, we're talking about what we're talking about. We are talking about increasing the presence of schools or university in the market, making agencies and students feel that the institution is highly active, and this will boost trust in the institution. And I guess the old option that listed here should be very familiar to you. The most common approach is business trip, where you visit potential partners and regularly meet with existing one. And this business trip allows agencies and the counselors to gain a better understanding of the program and makes them more likely to mention this program to students. Roadshows are also essential, like B2B exhibition, and enable educators to quickly meet many agencies and potential partners. And if you are participating in a sub-agent roadshow organized by your partner aggregator, that's even better. You will yield even greater result. And there are also B2C exhibition. This provide a direct opportunity to engage with students. And if you're attending this event alongside your partner, and this can also strengthen your relationship with them. And then it's the online promotional activity, also widely adopted by many schools and universities. And we can take a closer look at it. When discussing online activities beside webinar or live campus visits, we must mention digital marketing. Because China has a completely different digital marketing landscape, I guess all of you know that. Without a VPN, Chinese internet user cannot get access to any platforms like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, unfortunately. So to establish a strong presence in China, educators need to create accounts on Chinese social media platform and maintain regular updates. Digital marketing is a very powerful and cost-effective tool for reaching your target audience, especially in China market. For educational institution, the benefit extends beyond merely promotion. When potential students encounter detailed and engaging content about your institution on popular Chinese social media platform, it will significantly enhance your brand awareness and visibility. And students might talk about your brand or your university or your institution. And this is an opportunity to showcase your institution's strength and create a stronger presence in students or parents' daily online interaction. And this also showcases the care that your brand or your institution have for China market. And this care will make students that believe that they will receive the same care from you when they apply to your school or get enrolled. And furthermore, digital marketing service it's a very valuable resource for supporting your current Chinese students. This will create a sense of community and belonging, and also this will allow students to talk about their experience or talk about previous graduate students, how they're going now, and this will be beneficial for long-term growth and student referrals. And when working with recruitment agencies, it's very essential too to recognize that they are more likely to promote programs they know well. And sometimes the commission is not in the most important part because they want to promote the program they are more confident and comfortable with. So regularly sharing localized content through digital channels can keep your institution at the forefront for this for this partner's mind, like helping them to stay informed and motivated to promote your program. And for larger agencies, it will be also easier for them to get access to localized and ready to share, like one click away to share content. This will allow them to directly repost or adapt it to their platform, which will have normally more followers than us. So this will just create a convenience, and this convenience will encourage agencies to prioritize your program over competitors, and ultimately leading to a strong connection and collaboration with more effective promotion. And due to the time constraints, we can only quickly run through some current popular social media platforms. If you're interested, just feel free to reach out to us for a more detailed introduction. We'll be happy to do that. First, we have WeChat. I think most of you heard of it and know it. Maybe you have an account too. It has 1.6 billion users, most widely used messaging app. It allows users to share articles, photos, and more. And it's very popular one. And the second one, 小红书. And the direct translation of it is a little red book. This is a platform with a higher proportion of female user, and it has around 300 million users, and it's more focused on lifestyle sharing and reviews of experience. And on that platform, you can read some true feedback, like unpolished feedback for a lot of things. Basically, for me, I think everything. If you have that application, you come to China, you try to see the real comments or the real feedback for a restaurant, or the easiest way to get a medical ad, for example, in a certain city, that's a right platform to go. Like people are sharing a lot. And that is also a right platform where you should build the reputation of your brand too. And in contrast, I would like to mention another platform that I'm not listing here is named Zhihu, because it's attracting more male users and serve as a platform for sharing questions and answers. And there are a lot of people sharing their knowledge related to life experience too. And then the next one, we have Bilibili, that's the name. It is a video sharing platform similar to YouTube. Original creators on the platform, 300 million users, It's mainly features longer video. Unlike the next one, Douyin, that's a Chinese version of TikTok. You should be familiar with TikTok, perhaps. 800 million user, one of the most popular short video platform in China. It is also known for its strong recommended algorithm, and its live streaming feature has gained significant attention too, making it an excellent choice for if you want to do a campus tours. And I also know some tips when doing that live streaming, actually using their recommendation algorithm against it, and it's very funny. And then we have Weibo here. It is a place for discussing trend topics. 580 million users. This actually resembles a lot like Twitter and mainly focus on sharing short videos, photos, and quick updates. Again, each platform has its unique characters and suitable content to post, and they have their more data about age, demographics, or information interest by them, and the main topic talked and the style of posting. Again, we don't have time here, but if you're interested, I will be very happy to elaborate on this. You can just reach out to us. And then let's move on to the final section, where we will have a discussion about the key recruitment channels. When discussing recruitment channels in China, agencies are a familiar topic for everyone, I hope. What you see now is the Bonat China produced agency map. In China, most students depend on agencies when choosing their destination country, selecting institution, and managing application for studying abroad, basically everything. And consequently, the distribution and scope of these agencies typically reflect the geographical distribution of students' preference. So since 2019, Bonat has employed various methods, including like online communication or phone calls or in-person visits to gather insight into the operations and business scope and target student group of agencies across the country. So actually, this map is still updating. We're currently updating this information for 2024 with a plan to release early next year. And before diving into the discussion about agencies, maybe we can take a moment to review the result of our poll questions and see in our audience which educational level is the most. Okay, we have some K-12 high school provider. Hello, high school students and their families. Especially in tier 1 and new tier 1 cities, they rely heavily on agencies. Yeah, of course, to or counselors in their schools, like in their current schools, to make their decision about studying abroad. And I see some undergraduate and postgraduate. Most agencies promote both undergraduate and postgraduate program together to students. And in our database, we've collected information on the type of program that agency offered and their focused destination too. And this allowed us to have a better understand student preference in different areas, like by looking at what type of program or what destination agency promote the most, we can understand in which area students are more interested in a certain program type. And one of bonus service is to assist the educator in locating super partners. Like we can help you to save your time to find those with experience in a specific program type that you have, and based on the right location, targeting the right students. Also, yes, I see that we have short-term program here. Agencies that promote a short-term program typically operate separately from those focused on academic-related program, like they operate differently. Some of them even come from a tourism background. So many agencies, especially in, for example, in city like Shenzhen, they adapt their offering K-12 focused program or let's say a short-term study experience as a taste of overseas education. Well, I know that over like during the whole webinar, I've been talking too much about higher education, but earlier this year, we actually conducted a webinar. It's a short-term or let's say a language program focused, and it covers all the topic like recruitment timelines, preferred program type, budget range, and more. So if all the K-12 or short-term providers, if you're interested in learning more about this segment, you can let us know and we'll be happy to share the finding with you too. All right, let's see the next page. Yes, in addition to agencies, collaboration with high school and university is very essential. And these institutions actually offer a more stable and targeted student pool. And anyone who worked with high school or university, especially during the pandemic period, you can tell us that, like how stable it was to keep you stay in the market at least. And high school are particularly valuable for specific study destination because there are high schools called, for example, the US high school, like the student there, they are prepared to study to US. Like for all the destination, they have this type of school. Well, universities, they provide also access to students pursuing particular majors. So partnering with well-known schools or let's say prestigious universities, this can significantly enhance your brand visibility too and your reputation, like we mentioned. And even if the collaboration doesn't lead to immediate recruitment outcomes, it doesn't improve the financial situation, let's say that immediately, but the effect or the influence that it leave in the long term, you cannot ignore that. And also here, we suggest you to consider a various of partnership options for the same reason, like 2+2 or even 4+0, student exchange initiatives, sister school partner, short-term summer camps. This arrangement, they can serve as an introduction to a long-term study opportunity and help to, again, establish the brand recognition and the credibility in the market. And this is more and more important these days with the information transparency, because the more you are present in the market, the more parents and students are likely to have some information about the institution, because they are not only gaining information from the agencies anymore. Okay, here comes the conclusion, the last part. Well, first of all, the outbound market for education in China is very important, and it has unique character that require education to carefully consider based on their specific situation and design a tailored development strategy for. And then when promoting program, it's very important to align them with the appropriate student demographics. For instance, university ranking can correspond to students' academic performance. Type of short-term program can address students' need because there are students looking for enhance their background. We call it background improvement, but actually that's the preparation for them to apply their ideal university. Or some of them just want to improve their English skill or to experience the culture, and knowing their ultimate needs help you to identify your target students. And then once we understand the categories of students that the institution can attract, the next step is to use the right promotion channel to reach them and to enhance the market activity and the competitiveness in general. And then boosting competitiveness is very important, because currently Chinese students really have a lot of choice for any type of program. And this make it a buyer's market now. We have to admit that. So educators need to know that the support provided to agencies and the convenience service offered to students are actually the most crucial competitive advantages, because they have too much options. Of course, all the institution or program has its unique selling points, but they have too much options. So there are always something similar to you, and how you can compete with them is the attitude, or let's say the presence of the brand in the market, or the convenience that you offered to students and agencies. Right, that's the conclusion part. And finally, if you're interested in our data, we invite you to follow the Bonnet Market Monitor, where we share the insight not only about China, but also like on the global education market as well. So now it's time to take off your phone to scan the QR code. If you're not interested, you can also follow and scan, because I promise the data will eventually interest you. I promise that. Okay, if you're done scanning, the next page. At Bonnet Education, I want to mention that we strongly advocate for visa monitoring, because it's very important. It's very direct. And that's why we have introduced this new feature on our international education intelligence platform, where we began tracking visa data and grant rates data like this. And this visa data I referred at the beginning of today's webinar was actually taken from it was just a screenshot from the platform. It's very easy to use. So I believe by leveraging this metrics, you can also better predict students' intake, identifying market with positive visa trends, or to redefine the recruitment strategy. And also, beside the visa, our platform will also be updated with additional features, such as what is listed here: student flow tracking, country strategy. So if you're interested in our platform, you can actually reach out to us, and we can do an interactive demonstration. And again, if you're not interested, you can also write to us just for any other inquiries, or we can just talk about some interesting topics, or we can just chat. If you're interested in the market, you can always reach out. Okay, I guess it's time for the Q&A session. That was all the content that I prepared. So let me welcome your discussion and questions. I can see them in the chat, right? Is it I can see them in the chat, or I can see them Q&A here? Sorry, I thought nobody is talking to me. Let me see. Sammy. Hello, Sammy. Would you mind explaining a bit more about Tier 1 and new Tier 1 cities? Oh, you mean the definition about Tier 1 and new Tier 1 cities? Is, is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, it's actually every year there's an updated list. The Tier 1 city, there are 4 of them: Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and it's all with those 4. And for the new Tier 1 city, every year there are 15 of them, but the list change a little bit. The cities always staying there is, for example, Tianjin, where I based, Nanjing, Hangzhou, and this list is produced by a newspaper named Financial First. I remember that's the name, and they classify cities by tier based on their financial economic development, population, transportation, convenience, a lot of factors. And the higher the tier is, the more developed the city is, and normally more population in the city too, more opportunity, but more competition too. I hope I answered your question, if that's what you mean. Okay, Carla. Hello, Carla. I'm curious about to get your perspective on the trend of growing demand for lower cost program versus the sustained demand for top ranked school. Often top ranked school are among the highest price. That's a really good point. That's true. Let me think about it. Because I got those 2 points. That seems a little bit contradictory, but actually I got those 2 points from agencies like this. This is their feedback. People are getting more press sensitive, but the ranking stays the most important factor to them. If they could be enrolled or accepted by a top ranked university or schools, they could spend more money for that. That's for sure. But for the same level, if the ranking is the same, they would prefer if they are cheaper option. I think more the sentiment. And that's also why people are kind of considering the alternative, like I will spend my full year in Singapore and gain a UK diploma. Otherwise, they want to go to UK, right? They just want to save some money, choosing the cheaper option. Oh, thank you. Thank you for typing me back. And we have, oh, somebody don't want to display the name. Could you comment on the potential impact from the upcoming US presidential election? Oh, mm, I personally, not representing China office or any of my colleagues personally, I think the influence will be only like temporarily, because you see even the strike of 2020 for the US, that was like you see the chart was like boom, the drop, but still it bounced back directly when there's opportunity. Like people forget easily. And just as I said, I repeated, US is the US. It has unique education resource. It has those famous high schools, universities, and the culture. It's always the top one in a lot of students' mind, even if that can be expensive or difficult to get, or even maybe later we'll have some visa problems, but student will still want to go. We have a term saying that American dream. I don't know if that's maybe that's the word world. Like the US is the US. So I would say it will affect to a certain extent. But yes, actually, I asked that question. I believe that was last year to one of the agency, and his feedback was more direct than me. Like students don't care, like that's politic. They just want a good university. They just want a good job after the university. I think that's more or less the sentiment. Right. Let me see if there are more questions. Yes, Paul. Hello. Do you track consultant in China as well as agencies? And do you have any strategy on how to identify and contact consultants? You mean individual agents? Normally, we have the like in our database the 1,600 based on like the current updates. Those agencies, we have the contact with their let's say CEO or the general manager, like the decision maker. If you want to cooperate, you talk with this one. We don't have like for all the agencies, we don't know every consultant in their agency. That would be too much. But if you're talking about individual agent or a consultant, yes, we know a lot of them, and they are, especially during the pandemic period, it seems more cost effective to be solo, like one man show. Like you don't have even to rent an office. There are a lot of them doing that. Even when I was when we were holding some road shows, there are some registration from individual consultants. Okay, sorry, I missed beginning. Will we be able to see the webinar recording? Of course. You can just send us an email. We'll be happy to. Can you post a question you're answering? Oh, you cannot see it. Can you see it now, Teresa? Is it the right way? Sorry, I was looking to another screen. Right, I see Sharon Lee. I think that will be the last question. Do I still have time? I think that could be the last question I will take. Okay. If you have further questions, I will be happy to answer. I will be happy to have any chat or calls with you guys. Just reach out to us. Okay. With the current foreign student visa restriction in Australia with high rejection rate, what is the impact on Chinese students? I know this. Yes, we've been talking about this. I don't know. I don't know for students, because I'm not like directly talking with a lot of students daily, but I see for agencies, they are still optimistic. They are staying optimistic. We are holding the same feeling that it is going on, and we need to let the market react, and we see how the market react, and then we can know what we do, because it will be very hard to predict. And but besides that, Australia has been. I know it has been talked a lot along with Hong Kong. Hong Kong has been talked a lot among agencies. Cost effective, like great alternative. It's not fair to call it alternative, but still, right. Um, if there's no more question, or if you're too shy to type question here, you can always reach out to us. Okay. I think it's time. Maybe we should just end this webinar. Is that right, Teresa? Just lost track of time. I'm not taking too much extra time of yours, right? So thank you again. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the time. I just want the whole thing to be enjoyable and we just relax, just like friends talking. Okay. And if you need anything from us, we'll be happy to reconnect. Just send us email and oh, thank you, Paul. And the record of the webinar, of course, just send us email. We will share it with you and any additional information, any data from us. Okay. And stay tight. Have a nice day. And I guess that's the end. See you next time.